Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are returning, this is a channel about cross stitch, and it's still a channel about cross stitch if you're new here. My name is Cameron. I go by Cam the Stitcher here on Flosstube and on Instagram and on Goodreads. My pronouns are she, her. I'm here today with the most amount of makeup on because I wanted to. And yeah, I'm wearing pink, so I feel great. And I have lots to talk about. I went on I've been finishing things like a good amount, like not huge things, but I've been finishing cross stitch, like, you know, like almost like every other video or something. I don't have any finishes today, but I have lots of starts. I went a little start crazy the past like 2 weeks, and that's fine. I do want to right off the bat just say a huge thank you to the everyone who commented on my last regular Flosstube update and DM'd me and just poured out a lot of love to me about, you know, what I talked about at the end of that video. And I felt very, very I was very nervous to put that out there, but I don't know. It was a very positive experience. I only had one hater, and like, who cares? What a dweeb. So that's like, I feel very lucky and very, yeah, I feel very thankful for all of you, and thank you for continuing to watch my videos and support me and subscribing and liking and commenting. It's like, it's just so lovely to be able to like talk to you guys about obviously cross stitch, but also like just like relating to other things in life. And that's always, you know, it's great to connect with people. So anyways, so thank you so much. I will go ahead and jump right into the cross stitch. So I'm gonna show you a bunch of whips first, and then I'm gonna do new starts. My whips for the most part are like whip go calls that I have from the beginning of June, and then some stitch alongs that I've been continuously keeping up with. And yeah, and then I'll go into the new starts. So let's start with whip number 1. This is our tried and true Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery Halloween wreath. So June's part came out, I believe, the 5th of June, and I pulled that out and got it done in about 3 days or so. So it was that frog at the top and that lollipop, and so it was this portion right here. It is so cute. I know it's not like ironed, but doing my best here. it's so close to a finish. We have 2 more parts that are gonna come out. So July, August, and then I believe September they will release the finishing instructions for the pillow. So I'm excited. So this will be done like plenty of time before Halloween. Now I'm gonna warn you now. What's today? June 15th? Today's June 15th. I let summer have its time, okay? I let summer do its thing. However, when July 5th hits, it's fair game. July 5th, you know, the 4th is over. The fun summer days of June are over. In Virginia, at least, I mean, it gets blazingly hot in August. So what I like to do is I like to start decorating for Halloween about July 5th. 12 a.m. So just a warning. So that will be happening, and you will be, I mean, I got Easter still going apparently, but obviously I've got spooky up year round, but like I really go all out for Halloween. So anyways, okay, back to this. So yeah, this is stitched on 28 count linen by Picture This Plus. I believe it's in the color pewter, and it's stitched with all of the called for DMC. And it's very cute. I am thinking about doing the Christmas one just because this is such a fun stitch. And if I start the Christmas one, I think like once this one's over, I will just do one part a month because I think that would be super fun. Do I need another like stitch along that I'm just doing by myself? No, but I don't know. I really like this, and I think it would be so cute to have 2 finished like wreath pillows. And I love Christmas just as much as I love Halloween. So, all right. So that was whip number 1. The second whip I'm going to show you is the other sow that I'm keeping up with. So this is Lola Crow Cross Stitches Greenhouse of Oddities sow. This is, again, it's not ironed, but I have caught up. So this lovely painter woman came out last Friday, so the 9th. And this Friday we're gonna get the 4th planting, and then next Friday will be a break, which is lovely because I'll be at the beach, so that works out for me. So I'm gonna I'll go into this in plans, but I'll definitely stitch on this Friday and try to get that part done before I leave for the beach. She's so cute. So she's painting those little butterflies and like, I'm assuming this big cactus over here. And the butterflies are adorable. They're so cute. Now I did see on, I want to say Instagram or possibly the Facebook group, someone is stitching all of the critters over one. Adorable. The butterflies over one were gorge. But anyways, I'm stitching this with all the called for DMC, and I'm stitching it on 32 count Timberwolf by Seraphim. And it's working out fantastic. I have no complaints. I think this was the perfect color. I wanted it a little bit more like dark, but none of the colors are blending in. It looks fab. So that's that. I will say, as long as you finish the, what am I saying? Finish the frame of a Lola Crow stitch along, you're good for the rest of the way, because each part is, like that part I think was only 800 something stitches. It's really, really manageable. And it just depends, like, so that one didn't have too much color changing because a lot of it was black and gray in her dress. So like, it's pretty nice to keep up with. So, all right, my next whip I'll show you is my secret project that I'm working on for my partner, for our anniversary coming up in October. I can only work on this when he is not around, so yeah, sometimes I'll work on it during the day, but so this is Reaping Love by Silver Creek Samplers. Very cute, very cute. So I'm stitching this on 20 count Cocoa Ada by Fiber on a Whim, and I will show you where I was last time, and then this is where I am now. He's so cute. So I did have to frog this lantern because I was like off a stitch, so I had to redo that, so it did. And then I stitched this, his scythe handle. I stitched that in the wrong color. Now, I'm looking at it and I'm kind of like, I don't care, because I really don't. I think this color was meant for the tree that's on the other end of it. So like, whatever. Yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm not frogging it. So these stitches are so tiny. So cute. I don't have a lot of needle minders, but this needle minder is from Fangirl Fibers because I got that Nightmare Before Christmas box last year. So yeah, I'm gonna hopefully get more work on that in, but I'm going to the beach next week and I won't be able to take it because he will be there. He'll be there the whole time, so kind of inconvenient. Just kidding. I'll talk about what I'm bringing at the end. So my next whip, you guys haven't seen this in a second. This is my Kathy Barrick White Winter Moth. And I started this with Megan, the Seattle Stitcher, on January 13th of this year. We both started this. I believe she started possibly in the middle. I can't remember. I think she's working on the butterfly or the moth. My bad. But I'm stitching this on 40 count Chai Love You by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. So let me show you my progress. I finally cut my fabric on this, which is fantastic because now I have a cut for another piece that I want to do. So that is my progress. So this time that I got it out, I get it out on the 13th of every month. So I worked on this motif and started the middle of it. But then I was like, I really need to like start working on that moth. I'm gonna like hate myself later. So I filled the rest of this out, stitched this motif, and then started to fill in a little bit more white. And then I got tired and stopped. But this is my favorite. I think I've said this before. This is my favorite fabric that I have ever seen. I just love this color. So yeah, very happy with this. I am gonna bring this to the beach because it's a paper pattern. I'd be able to, it's small enough, like this cut of fabric, like I'm not gonna have to like wrangle this. And there's not that many colors. Like once you kind of start working on one motif, you're for the most part only using 1 or 2 colors. So, okay. This whip was a Whip Go call, for this month. No, I have 2 more whips. I'm sorry. Okay. This one was one of my Whip Go calls. This is the, Wizard of Oz, Owl Forest embroidery stitch along that happened a couple years ago. It is free. I think it's still on their site. You can download the PDF. And this is where I am. So I hadn't worked on this in a while. And so this time, I had already had Dorothy and the Witch pretty much done. I had finished filling out her cape and this, and then I stitched all of this and started on that Tin Man. But I actually reached my goal for this. I'm happy with the progress I made. So this is gonna go away I may pull it back out later this month, we'll see, but I kind of want to get progress on some other projects a little bit more. But yeah, this is stitched on 32 count linen from Jackson Fiber Arts on Etsy. I don't remember the color this was called, but Jackson Fiber Arts is really great. They have like very unique dyed pieces of fabric. She only dyes 32 count linen, and it's like this hemp linen, but it's really easy and soft. I don't know, it's very like nice to stitch on. So if you're interested, if you like, also it's very affordable. If you're a fancy lady stitcher and you like stitching on 32 count with like modeled, like really beautiful, colorful fabric, I say check her out on Etsy. My next whip, this was a Whip Go call, but it also worked out because me and several Flosstube friends are stitching Night Spirit Studio patterns, and we're using the hashtag Stitch for Sage on Instagram. I talked about this at the end of my kit parade, but we are doing this to support Sage, to basically encourage you guys to go look at her website and pick out some patterns. You've had some patterns on there on your wish list, go for it. Now's the time to do it. We want to support her. She is going through a battle with cancer, and she is now recovering from a brain surgery that she had done, I think a week ago or so. So we are here to support her. I already had a bazillion of her patterns, I'm not gonna lie, but guess what? Don't worry, I found more. I found more that I needed. But this one I started in January of this year. This is called Unexpected Visitors. And this is one of her, like, I don't know. I love this pattern. The border is like gorgeous. That's, I think, most of the appeal is that border. It's only 3 colors, DMC, and it's just a very easy stitch. And so I worked on that a little bit more, and I got more of this border filled out. I only worked on this for like a night or two. I have not reached my goal yet, so this will come back out later this month. I may bring it to the beach with me just because it's 3 colors. It's super easy. And this is stitched on just 32 count raw linen, which I like the look of for this. So my goal, I think, is to go ahead and do the whole border before I do the middle, which is not like me, and I don't know if I can actually stick to that, but I'm hoping, because that middle does look very exciting. Michelle Bendy, she is stitching this as well. This was a whip of hers, and she's stitching it in like stash overdyed silk, and go look at her progress on Instagram. It's gorgeous. I thought about it and I was like, dang, I should have done this in a toile, DMC a toile, because I could have totally done that. But that's okay. It's gonna be beautiful and I love it. So, new starts. I got excited because the Starlight Stitchery Stitchers Collective Gay Pride bundle came out. I immediately purchased that. It was $10 for a bundle of several patterns. The patterns are very, very cute, but of course, the one that spoke to me first and foremost was the Witchy Stitchers Queer Goth, because, right. So I had to start that immediately because I think I'll live like this for the rest of my life. I have a huge, like, not a bolt, but like a yard or more of 18 count black Aida, because my favorite designers, the Witchy Stitcher, Night Spirit Studio, Mama Witch X Stitch, like all of those designers, they use black Aida constantly. And I love stitching on black Aida, specifically 18 count, with 2 strands. I know, controversial, but this is my start on Queer Goth. I stitched on this for a night. So it's a very small start, but very manageable, very cute. Yeah, so I'm just gonna work on this when I feel like working on it. I know it would be a very quick finish if I just did it. And this needle minder is from, I think, Starlight Stitchery Box. I think the Witchy one, or the Divination, possibly. But yeah, so that was start number 1. And then I am part of the Witchy Stitchers Patreon. And I had seen a sneak peek and I was like already sold, but the Witchy Stitcher released a Lisa Frank Ouija board pattern on her Patreon. And again, it's on black Aida. So I cut me a piece and immediately started because I needed to. I think I did. I ran to Michael's and I got DMC, because that is the easiest way to do that for me. So these are the colors. I think it's only 15 DMC. Not too bad considering we're doing Lisa Frank. So let's, and I got this charm from a viewer, and so I put that on here. So cute. Okay, so this is my start. I started in the middle because that made the most sense for me. And so I have part of the alphabet done, and it's adorable. Don't mind the cat hair, guys. That is normal. Yeah, so again, this is just, I stitched on it for a night. So these numbers were really quick to stitch up. or not numbers. Well, yeah, numbers and letters. So yeah. I am gonna just keep stitching on this when I feel like it. It's so cute. Ugh. And now I've just been like looking at like Lisa Frank stuff on eBay. Like I need that. So expensive, by the way. Holy crap. But then I forgot that like Lisa Frank did have a whole Halloween thing. Like I remember having those Halloween pencils, the Lisa Frank pencils. They're like neon Halloween. I don't know. Anyways, I'm obsessed. I've thought about a tattoo, but it's not gonna happen anytime soon. But I just needed to get that. I just needed to get that out there. Okay. So then, gosh, what else did I start? Okay. So then my good old friend, Bridget, the museum stitcher, she was celebrating her, I think, second year Flosstube slash anniversary that the day she started stitching. They just so happened to fall on the same day. So we were like, oh my God, let's start something because we're crazy. And no, we're not. We're just excited. And so she gave us a couple of options. And of course I was I wanted to stitch on all the options that she gave. But I was kind of excited because we made the decision to stitch on the black butterfly sampler. I can't remember if that's the name of it, by the Shaded Stitchery. I love this pattern, and I had a perfect fabric that I was thinking of that was in my stash, and it goes along with like my obsession of Lisa Frank lately. You'll see, okay? So I'm stitching this on 40 count Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers Razzmatazz. It was a fabric of the month several months ago. And this is my start. I started in the middle. This fabric is everything. When I got this fabric, I was like, what the heck am I supposed to do with that? And I know that's coming from me because I love color. But I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna stitch on this. But now I'm like, oh, this is perfect. So I am stitching this in 2 colors. So actually this viewer is so nice. I think Rachel, she sent me, we did a fabric exchange several months ago, and she was the one that gave me that Timberwolf that I'm stitching my Greenhouse of Oddities salon. And she had also included this Gloriana silk, and I had never stitched with Gloriana before. And this color is aubergine. It's like obviously really deep eggplanty purple. And I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, like whatever. But this is perfect. Obviously it just looks black, but in person you can see like very subtle variegation. You can see that it's purple. And then for the other color, I'm gonna do Butterfly Bush by Color and Cotton as the contrast. I haven't stitched any of this part yet. I'm gonna see how I like it. I think it'll show up like kind of white, but with a little bit of subtle purple in there. So anyways, that's my plans. Again, no plans necessarily to like stitch on this in the future, but this is a really easy stitch to take with me. It's got 2 colors and I'm good to go. So yeah, that was my 3rd start in the past 2 weeks. Listen, I'm not shaming myself because like these patterns are just sitting there not being started. So okay. And then the next start is the hashtag Stitch for Sage start that I did. So if you watched me a while ago, or if you've been going back in my catalog of videos, when I started, I did like 12 by 12 kind of on my own the day after New Year's Eve because I was hanging out with friends on New Year's Eve, so I couldn't sit and stitch. But I started a bunch of patterns, and one of the patterns I started was one of Sage's woodcuts. I have purchased all of these. They are all ready to go. But I'm gonna put it right here. I think it's called Farmer's Fallout or Fall. I can't remember, but I'll put it right here. So I had started this. I have not since worked on it, so this is not any progress, but I'm just showing you what I'm doing. So this is 28 count like natural linen, and I am stitching 1/1 tent stitch because it's like an etching. So to me, like, this makes sense. And also it's gonna be cute as heck. So yeah, so that is the start of this. But I was like, well, I could work on this, and I will again soon. This is on my Whipco board. But I want to work on this, but also I could just start another woodcut, guys. So I had you guys vote on Instagram, and so I think we did, the most popular one was witches and demons, so I'll put it right here. And this is so funny. So I got a start on that, and you can see the head of a demon, and he's slaying. He's so cute. So yeah, again, stitching the exact same fabric, same technique, DMC 310. It's gonna be so tiny. I haven't decided exactly what I'm gonna do with all of these. I think because they're so tiny, and they will be so tiny, obviously, like, part of me is like, what if I just make the cutest little woodcut pillows ever? But I don't know. I will say, go on Instagram, search #StitchForSage, follow that hashtag if you're interested, and just check out all of the woodcuts and the other patterns that people are stitching. Literally, when I was going through her pattern, her website, I was like, okay, I have a lot of these, but I know there's gonna be more that I want. And I literally went on that hashtag and was just looking at what everyone was stitching. And with like people, you know, picking different fabrics and different flosses and all this stuff inspired me so much. And I was like, oh yeah, I know that pattern. Like, I wouldn't have bought that, I don't think, but now that I see it stitched up, like, so anyways, very cute, very supportive and lovely. And so yeah. So that was my last new start. And I lied, I have one more whip, guys. That's okay. I just worked on this last night, so that's why I forgot. But it still has a thread and needle in it. So this was my other Whipco call for June, and I'm gonna stitch on this for the next 2 to 3 days. And then when I get back from the beach, I'm gonna stitch on it some more because I really want to get progress on this. This is Halloween Quaker by Lila Studio or Lila Studio. And I'm stitching this on 40 count Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers, linen in the color Queen Crepe Myrtle. And sorry, I have a hanging thread and a needle, but is what it is. I'm not taking this out of the hoop. Not losing my place, guys. So the last time I showed this to you, it probably looked just about the same. This motif is taking 10 years to finish. And I know I'm being dramatic because it's fun, but, yeah, I worked on this all last night and I was like, oh my God, I'm making no progress, but I know I did. I finished this middle part out, this like lattice kind of thing, and I'm getting some stuff done. So anyways, I'm stitching this with the called for Classic Colorworks. I'm excited to finish this motif and move on to the next one. So my goal for this month is to finish about 3 motifs / get to like 10%. I'm on track. I think I would like to hit 15% on this. Okay, that was my last whip. So let's do haul and then plans. Does that sound good? I don't know. I ordered from Fat Quarter Shop. I just needed like literally one thing of fabric for a particular project, which I'll show you in a second. And then I needed the last few threads for Away We Ride. So I showed this in my kit parade and I think my last video before that. But this is Away We Ride. A lot of people started this at StitchCon Weekend A. And so I already have pulled some stash, but I went ahead and got 2 of the called for Gentle Arts. And then I picked up, instead of the called for Gentle Arts for the like border, the majority of the border, I wanted something a little bit more variegated and fun. So I went with a Cottage Garden Threads, and it's like this gray green, you get it. It's called an Anoium, and I can't say that word. I tried and I couldn't. Anyways, so I'm excited. So that is now fully kitted up. And then this is actually going to take us right into plans. So this totally works. My friend over at Cinematic Stitches, again, if you have not watched her channel, Cinematic Stitches over on Flosstube and Instagram. Cinematic is spelled with a 3 for the E. Cause you know, you gotta like change it up a bit. All right. But she, is starting Birdman Cometh, which I had picked up at, Market. And I've wanted to start this. This was like, I mean, this one blew me away at Market because it's so weird and I love it. So she's planning to start this June 21st, I think. Yes. Which is the like summer solstice. And so I was like, well, I have to start it too. But in my kit parade, I talked about how I didn't have fabric. So I picked up 20 count fiber on a whim lipstick. And I think that's a pretty dang good pick. So this is not the called for. I didn't want to stitch it on the called for. And I was kind of worried because when you look online, lipstick looks like this color, like it looks, or even brighter than this, like pinky color. But then I know that I'd seen Michelle, Bendy Stitchy, she had stitched Needles Dance on this color of Ada. And I was like, I think it would work. I really do. So anyways, I'm going to do that. I'm going to, before I leave, I'm going to pull the rest of the DMC, but these are 3 of the overdyes that I've picked out for myself to stitch with. So yeah, that is happening. Those birds are going to end up being this green. They look brown on the picture, but when I like pulled up what the overdye is, I was like, that's green. Anyways, so that is plans. I'm starting that on the 21st while I'm at the beach, and it's actually perfect because again, I love stitching on 20 count with 1 strand in hand. I like stitching in hand, and this is a paper pattern, so I will be good to go. I can take it on the beach with me if I want and literally start it in the sand. Water will be near me. Now, I'm like delusional to think that I'm going to stitch a bunch at the beach, but I'm, as just a safety precaution, just to make myself feel better, I will be bringing stitching. At the very least, I will start this. I know that. So yeah. Anyways, I'm a swimmer. I love getting in that ocean, and I swim. All right. So other plans. Oh, I have one more thing for haul, but whatever. We're just going with the flow. Other plans, I think I talked about this in my kit parade. I'm going to start this July 1st with lots of other people. So yeah, this is good to go. I've got, I think, I've got my fabric, which is Be Stitch Me Ledger 40 count. And I've got overdyes that I have pulled from stash. So that is good to go. I'm excited to start that. So that is another start for July 1st. But I think the rest of July, I'm about to lie to you because I think I'm probably going to do a July Christmas start. We'll see. Guys, we'll see. Okay. Now this was part of haul, but I totally forgot about it. And I shouldn't have because it's iconic. But I have a saved search for Birds of a Feather on eBay. Now, I don't like all birds of a feather charts because some of them, I mean, all of them are pretty, but I specifically want Halloween ones that are out of print. So some Halloween ones you can still get on 123stitch.com, but this one is out of print. So I am sorry, but I needed it. And it was, oh, I got lipstick going places it shouldn't go. There we go. It was very affordable. So I am nothing if not thrifty, and I don't have loads of money to spend on out of print charts. So this was less than $20. I'm not willing to pay more than like $25, $30 for an out of print chart. So it's so cute. Yeah, it's called Scared Silly. So this calls for all weeks, but I'm just gonna stitch these in the DMC. I may pick actually I'll definitely pick an overdyed black and this orange at the very least, just because it's so much blocks of stitching. I mean, I'll just pull that from Stash, Color and Cotton, whatever I have going on. But it's very cute, and I want to keep them all the same size, that because I've already finished 2 of these types of charts. So I am going to get like a 32 count or a 16 count, like dark brown fabric. So yeah. Okay, so my other plan that I have for the beach, this is one of my Whip Go calls. And I was like, okay, this is definitely going to be beach stitching because I have all of the threads on this thread holder. Actually, I need to replenish one of these colors. Okay, so I'll do that before I leave. But yeah, so I have all of the colors all ready to go, and this is an easy 32 count Lugana that I'm working on, and it's 2/2. This needs to be ironed so bad. Oh my gosh. But this is just super easy stitching. I've only worked on this probably maybe for 3 days, 3 stitchy sessions, and I've gotten a lot done. I'm not showing you any progress because I have not stitched it since the last time I showed it to you. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna bring this and stitch it. So my goal for this month is to finish this. I think that might be a little bit over ambitious, but I'm also like, I don't know, I stitch on it so fast. I mean, really, all of this is done. This just has a couple more stitches to be put in. This is basically, like, the majority of this part is done. The back stitching I have to save for last. And then I've got this motif started. We got this started. I can do it, guys. I can do it. So yeah, I'll be bringing this with me. I think this is the called for fabric. It's 32 count. Picture this plus Sprite. And it's like a very light lavender. You can barely tell it's purple. So that is it for the stitching. I will talk about books for a bit, I guess. And yeah, so if you want to keep watching and listen to my book recommendations / just me talk about weird books I've read, keep watching. If not, you will not miss any stitching. I will see you all next time, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy hopefully some sunshine. And if you don't like sunshine, then I hope you enjoy staying inside and watching movies and stuff, because that's what I like doing. So anyways, yeah, so we're gonna do book talk now. Okay, so the first book that I want to talk to you guys about, I read this a while ago. I know I did not do a book talk in my last regular Flosstube update, so but I don't have like that much to talk about because I kind of like went off and I read more of series, so like I'm just gonna talk about those all at once kind of thing. But anyways, the first book I did read was Finlay Donovan is Killing It. This is the first in the series. This was recommended by Bridget, the museum stitcher. I saw a lot of people had been recommending this, and it didn't sound like my usual type of book, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna try it out. So I listened to the audiobook, which was very good, and it was such a quick read, like couldn't put it down. It was very cute but like interesting. So The concept is Finlay is a book writer, and she writes romance books, but she has gone through a divorce and she has kids, and she's just like doing her best. And her publishers are like, hey, we need your work. And she's like, I can't, she's just so busy and lots going on. And then she ends up accidentally being contracted to kill a woman's husband. And I know that sounds weird, but like, it makes sense when you read the book. And so she kind of falls into this, and then events happen and this husband is dead, and it's her dealing with like the aftermath and kind of being thrown into this world of like crime and weird stuff going on, all while juggling being a single mom. So it's actually so good. And the funny thing is it actually takes place around where I live. So it takes place in the DMV area. So name dropping like areas in Northern Virginia, DC is talked about a lot, parts of Maryland. And so it's so funny because I'm like, she's like, oh, I'm like headed to this place. And I'm like, oh my God, my sister lives there. Like, it's just like funny because I don't know, Northern Virginia / DC isn't like the most like romantic, like the most like, I don't know, like a lot of people don't write about, unless it's like specific DC stuff, but I just thought that was cute. So I really enjoyed that one. And then I read 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. This one was a super quick read. It was kind of almost like it wasn't like, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't like super great. I think I gave it like 3 stars, but it was just like, it was one of those like, when you're scrolling on Amazon and you're looking for a spooky movie, but you also kind of don't care what you're gonna watch. And so you put on like kind of a shitty, scary movie, like one that was like maybe self-published or one that just didn't do that great. Like it just wasn't, I don't know. Like it's just it's entertaining, but it's also like, it is what it is, you know what I mean? So basically there are these, I think like 7 or 6, late teenage / early 20s, like college students in this RV, and they're traveling to, I think, do this kind of like basically a trip with everyone. And they're gonna hit this campground or some area where they can camp with the RV. And, they end up like their tire blows out or something like that, and then they start getting shot at, and they're like, what the heck? And then there's a walkie-talkie involved, and there's the shooters on the walkie-talkie and kind of threatening them and giving them direction and saying that someone on the bus has a secret and that person has to reveal that secret, and then they can go. Like they'll be, you know what I mean? And if the secret is not revealed, he's gonna start, the shooter is gonna start, So, of course, everyone's like, what's the secret? Like who could, whatever. And people start revealing secrets, and you find out some things about these characters, and then it's like, nope, that wasn't the secret. So it's just like them trying to figure this out and trying to escape. And anyways, it was like a cool concept, but it was very just like, yeah, like run-of-the-mill, like kind of slasher, but like with a gun sort of thing. And the ending, the twist was like pretty good, like it was decent. So I don't know, but yeah, so that was 5 Survive. And then I read the first and second book in the series, The Discovery of Witches. So the first book was called A Discovery of Witches, and then the second book was Shadow of Night. And this is by Deborah Harkness. I know that my Stitchy friends have, I think some of them have definitely read this and are fans, but actually my best friend from high school, college, Caroline, she recommended I read this because we used to read a lot of the same young adult books back in the day. And I was recently talking to her and I was telling her like, yeah, like I just got back into reading after years because we were both English majors in college, and like she knows the woes of having to read for a living. And so she was like, I actually super recommend Discovery of Witches. I love it. Like, it's such a great series. So I started reading that. Now, I will say, this was, I'm going to be honest, I couldn't put it down. So, like, I enjoyed it. But it was like, I was reading it and I was like, this is cringy a little bit. It's a little bit cringe, but just enough cringe that I'm still enjoying it. And I will say parts of it reminded me of Twilight, dare I say. And I don't want to speak on, I don't know when this came out, and I don't know, like, whatever, but it's just really funny. But anyways, basically, I'm not going to go super into the plot, but obviously there's a love story, there is a witch, and there's a vampire. And there are demons, there's time traveling, so the first book, Discovery of Witches, I was like, okay, this is like pretty good. I couldn't put it down, like I was reading it, whatever. But I was also like, you know, I wasn't like blown away. Well, then I started reading the second one and I was like, all right, now we're getting more into like my like jam. So in the second book, they time travel back a long time ago in like the 1500s. And so that was fun. I did like that aspect of it. The romance part of it, in the first book, I'm gonna break it to you right now, they don't. You know, they don't. Okay? Second book, they do, though. They get to it. So if you're patient and you like reading spicy books, this is not a super spicy book. This is not like Kindle Unlimited spicy, but the second book, they do, okay? So anyways, I enjoyed it. I definitely am gonna finish out the series, and then I also kind of want to watch the show, but I don't know where to find it. I saw that the first episode was like free on Amazon, but I think you had to like purchase some subscription for the rest of it. So we'll see if I do that. But anyways, so yeah, so I read Discovery of Witches. The next book I read was The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. This was all the way down on my library app. Like it was like several months, like you're never gonna get it, girl. And I was like, okay, whatever. But I kept it on hold. And then I got one of those skip the line borrow things. So I immediately borrowed it and listened to it. Kind of glad I got the skip the line thing, because honestly, if I had waited like 7-8 more months for it and then listened to it, I would have been like, this was not worth the wait. It just wasn't good. That's not true. It was well written. It had good twists. It did. I just don't think I was into the story. Like, I just don't think I was. Basically, this guy lives in a Paris apartment and he goes missing, and his sister comes and looks for him and kind of talks to these characters that are in this Paris apartment building. I'm not really going to say any more because I don't want to give anything away, and you might be like super into that type of vibe and that like environment. But it was just like, you know, rich people in Paris and their woes, and I don't know. I just wasn't into it. Maybe I just can't relate to people in Paris, and that's okay. So yeah, I don't know. I gave it like maybe 3 stars, and I gave it 4 stars. I don't know why. I was being nice. Don't pay attention to my star ratings if you follow me on Goodreads. If you actually want to know, I will tell you on here, because now I've had time to reflect on it, and I'm like, yeah, I actually didn't enjoy that book really. I think the ending was what made me give it a 4-star, was because I was like, okay, like that was a good twist, like whatever. But I think the overall, just like me trying to read it, I was like, this isn't my thing. So anyways, that's fine. But I ended this time of reading off with the 3rd book in the Touch of Darkness series. And it's called Touch of Malice. I have talked about these books before. They are about Hades and Persephone and their romance, and it's like set in New Greece. So like all of the gods and goddesses are out and about. They own businesses. They like run empires and all this. Yeah. Anyways, I want to give a caveat to my 5-star rating of these books, and it is that I know that they are not well written. I know that they have several plot holes. I know that they are essentially trash. However, I live and breathe for every page of those books. I don't know what it is. And I'm not alone in that. I have seen other like people on TikTok, like Book talk about these books and how like crap they are, but how much they like loved reading them. They're just the right amount of cringy, trash, spiciness. It's just like a breath of fresh air. Like, you know, sometimes I read books that are about like more heavy topics like missing people and crime and, you know, mysteries, like friends betraying friends, stuff like that, right? And so this is just like pure, absolute garbage. And I love every second of it. I, you know, hung on every word, listened to the whole book in like 2 days. Yeah. So if you don't mind trash books and you want to read something that's just like, you can laugh at it, you can gasp at parts, then pick the series up. But otherwise, if you're one of those people that stuff like that bothers you, then don't bother and don't come at me for liking it, because whatever, it's like subjective. So anyways, so that was the last book I have for you. I will definitely have a couple more for you next time, because when I'm at the beach, I read a lot. So I will definitely catch you next time in 2 weeks. You may see me before that on a whip parade. I haven't decided yet. But anyways, I hope you enjoy some summer times, enjoy some sun, enjoy some AC, and I'll see you next time, baby.